Here is the front bumper mount or support. Like I said, I'm going to redo this and make a crash bar that goes in the front from here. Well, basically it looks like the front bumper. This is some 1¼ inch OD pipe with a 1/8 inch wall. So all I got to do is make sure that when this mounts up, this is going to be even with this bumper, and the bend that I'm going to make comes around and matches this angle. I've made it a little bit longer because I'm going to cut it at this straight angle and then cap the end, weld it, and then there'll be another pipe that comes from this point back that matches, or that'll be welded up to the mounting plate. The mounting plate will have these holes on it, match up to the corresponding holes here. The mounting plate that's going to be here is going to be made out of 1/8 inch by 4-inch strap. I just got to take a measurement here and here to see how long I need it. I'll be notching the tube that comes out from here to here to this point, and then just welding it around. And then, like I say, after I am done with that, I'll be using the Rhino, the Raptor liner to coat it and give it, give it a little bit of corrosion protection. Alright, so here's the first bend. You can see that it lines up really well with the original bumper. Now what I did, since I didn't know the exact angle, was I just marked it, I bent it a little bit, then took it out of the bender, and then bend it a little bit more. It was off like maybe 1/4 inch, and bend it a little bit more until it was perfect. I'll do the same thing on this side. The way I'm doing it is I'm marking exactly where this bend is right here, and then giving it about the width, about 1¼ inch before I start the bend, because when it bends, it actually will, it'll rotate and it'll match up to this line right here. So it's like 1 inch exactly where the bend. You don't want to make the bend exactly where this one is, because then it'll be way out here. So you bring it back about 1¼ inch, 1 1/8, something like that, and then just start bending it a little bit at a time until you match up to this angle right here. So here it is, bent, and it's pretty good, actually, on my first attempt. The only thing I got to do is, or remember, when I mount this, it's going to be kind of like in the center of this, where this bumper's at. So I'm going to have to add a piece of metal like that matches up to the top of this bumper, because when you put your bumper cover on, it basically slides into this area right here. It locks in place. So when I mount the crash bar, and the mounting pipe or mounting area goes right here, there's going to be a gap. So I got to put a piece of metal that comes up this way and is flat to match this area right here. I probably won't be putting this on. I don't know. I'll put the bumper on first and see. And if I have to, I'll just weld on a couple, or drill a couple of holes and put on a couple of bolts, and that'll be it. Yeah, I'm going to cut the pipes for the back end next, and then notch them. Okay, so I got everything welded up, and it's been about a year since I've TIG welded, and it shows. Yeah, these welds are not pretty at all, but they're not going anywhere, so I'm not even going to complain about it. Here is the piece, the ledge that I said the bumper sits on. That's all welded on. The back piece that bolts onto the main frame of the car. And when I was assembling it, you might have seen that I had it kind of set on top of the other one. And that was so I could align the holes. So I cut the holes in the bottom plate, and it doesn't, so basically there's a thinner set of holes that are spaced closer than the back ones. So when you flip it around and it's facing, you know, sitting on the car, it's going to be the same. Got this in the mail today. Originally I had ordered a Koyo radiator, which I thought was the full-size one, instead of the half-size one that usually you can put on the Honda Civic, but I wanted to make it a little bit, either change it up or make it look cleaner. So I ordered one from Amazon, and according to the measurements on there, it was 24 inches long by 23 or something like that. Well, when I got it, it was a half-size radiator. The crappy thing is I had to send it back, but the company's making me pay for the return, which sucks. And so I ordered this one, which was a tucked radiator from eBay. Was like $260 or something like that, and it's aluminum. It's a really nice looking radiator. It's going to be fit inside underneath the that compartment where the original radiator goes up further, which means I have to do a little bit more cutting and modifications. Over here though, it comes with just the push-in style, where you put the hose over here and then the clamp. And I ordered a couple of pieces from K-Tuned, the 16AN billet aluminum thermostat housing, and also the connection to have the filler neck with the 16AN, because this, as you see, does not have a place to fill it. So I ordered those. Those should be in within the next couple of days. So I ordered these on eBay, 16AN bungs of machined aluminum, and I gotta take them to somebody that can weld them for me on here, because, well, my TIG welder can't weld aluminum, it just does steel. So I'm waiting on that. Alright, so today I brought in the subframe, and I've already cleaned it up a little bit. I've used the wire wheel on it and taken off all the crud that's been building up on it, and then used the air compressor to blow off all the stuff that was inside the frame. And so that's all good. When I was looking for all the parts though, I couldn't find clamp that goes right here. I couldn't find it, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more searching around the yard and see if I found it. I hope I didn't throw it away. I had taken off the other subframe from the vehicle, which is the left-hand drive, and I was hoping that it would work on this, on this one. But the difference between the two is this is the power steering rack that I deleted, that I put that thing on, the hose, and the other one was a manual. And the difference between the two was this pipe right here, this reservoir is a lot thinner than this one right here. So the clamp that actually holds this in place was way too small to work. Well, hopefully I can find it. If not, I'm gonna have to figure something out, either make one, because finding right-hand drive parts where I live is next to impossible. I've decided I'm gonna go ahead and sand this up a little bit and then primer it, and I was going to powder coat it black, or use the epoxy paint that I used on that, but I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and paint it the same color as the car. I figure I'm getting black anodized motor mounts, and then I painted that black, and then all the washers and bolts and stuff like that are going to be stainless with the orange cup washer. So I think all that would look good, with the contrast with the orange and the black and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and prep this to be painted, and then fix all these little things like this, and then get it ready to be painted. Alright, so I just cleaned it all up and scuffed it with sanding block. Took down all the rough spots, made sure it was nice and smooth, and then took the prep spray, the grease and wax remover, and then sprayed the whole thing, well, not the whole thing, but a section at a time, and then wiped everything down on top and the bottom. Going to spray the bottom first with paint, and then let that dry, and then do the top. What I don't want to do is do the top first and then have it, flip it over to do the bottom, and then scuff up the paint on the top part where it's going to show. So if it's on the bottom, it really don't matter. So in between me painting that subframe, I got a notification that I had a package in the mail, and I kind of knew what it was, but I was hoping that it was and yep, this is what it is. It is a Live Sports, or Live Sports, I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's basically what it is. It's the spoiler, made in Japan. They had to special order it. It had to come on a shipping container. The nice thing about this one is you don't need the original spoiler to attach it to like you do on a bunch of the other ones. This one just directly attaches up to the hatch of the EG car or vehicle. And I love the way these look. It was, either between, it was a choice between this one or the Kevlar Backyard Special style. But everybody has, since they started copying that design, the Backyard Special one, everybody has it. I did the underside of the subframe with the epoxy paint black. I primered it first and sanded it smooth, and then gave it 2 coats of that epoxy paint. Now I just gotta, it's gonna be an extra step, but I think it's just gonna look better with the orange top and the black bottom. But the extra step is basically I got to mask it off around the perimeter down at the bottom so the overspray from the orange doesn't get on the black. Alright, so what you're looking at is the first glimpses of what this color is going to look like. After the first, I did it three base coats of the orange pearl, and let that dry. And then after I saw what it looked like, I decided that it needed a little bit more of a, it needed something else. So what I did was I added a little bit more white pearl to the clear coat. And this is one coat. I'm going to give it one more. And then let it dry. And then I'll pull it back inside. And but you can see, I don't know if you can see right here, but you can kind of see the pearl that's in it now. I think it looks really nice with that extra coat of pearl. I just spent pretty much 8 hours today working on this. Before, I'd work on it after work, or I'd take stuff to work and work on it and, you know, do the things I needed to do over there. But today, I had a free day off, and I pretty much got the engine bay done. I filled in all the holes that were there, and on that end, and filled in this hole and started to do to smooth it out, and did the seam sealer on this end. I just gotta let it dry, and then I'll sand it smooth, take off all the roughness on it, and then give it another coat of primer. Also, what I did, I went ahead and removed the brackets from there and there for the AC, and the brackets there and there for the radiator, because I got that tucked radiator, and it fits right where that lip is, right there, and it's only, well, it's 9.5 inches wide by 24 inches long. So basically what you have to do is, or what I did was, there's a lip that went right here that stuck up, and what I did was I just got a big hammer and just banged it down, and then smoothed out all the dents and stuff that I created. I still gotta sand it and then do a little bit of body work on there. And then I also cut the bracket right here, right there, and that holds the hood latch, and kind of smoothed it out a little bit more on the inside. So I let this dry over the weekend. Came in this morning and got a better look at it. You can see what that pearl, that extra pearl that I added to the clear coat did. It just really brings out that color. I really like it. Also, I put the steering rack on. I found this piece finally. It used to have kind of like an extension that came out this way with a hole, probably to plug in a sensor of some sort, but I'm not going to use it, so I cut it off and grinded it, and repainted it with the epoxy paint. Also, these guys, I cleaned these up, took all the rust off of them, and put the new hardware on. All these bolts right here, this one and the one in the bottom, and this one, are going to be changed out so they look like this, with the anodized orange cups and the stainless steel bolts. So when those come in, I'll swap those out. And then I also cleaned up that last week and painted the sway bar. and I'm waiting for the other suspension pieces that I had ordered, the lower control arms and the sway bar, or the bushings for the sway bar mounts and everything. So those should be in probably this week sometime. So I just got this shipment in from these guys. Of course, you gotta have these, but this is what I got. This is the AN fitting, 16 AN fitting, and this is the thermostat housing. Also has a, looks like a plug of some sort. Okay, so that goes there. That goes there. I opted to get the plug for the thermostat switch or sensor. The fan switch is actually what I'm trying to say, because I don't know if I'm going to hook up the fan switch up to the radiator or just hook it up here. I might end up hooking it up here because the wiring harness that I ordered might have the plug on closer to that end than to the fan. So we got another 16 AN fitting. We got this guy, elbow. Looks like we got some screws or bolts, and looks like a fitting for like a hose or something. And then this guy. So this goes up to the block. This goes here. That goes out to the radiator. And then of course this goes here. Now, I'm not sure why this is so that goes like that. Okay, so the plug, the hose bar fitting will go in here to run out to overflow can, if you have one. And then I didn't get the K-tuned radiator cap because I have the Skunk 2 cap already. But this goes up to the engine block. This goes out to the radiator, and then this is also thermostat goes in here, up to the block, and out to the radiator. Some really nice pieces, all machined aluminum. Looks really good, and it cleans up the bay a little bit. So that's what I was looking for. There was a couple other things I saw in there that I wanted to get from them, but I'm waiting on that, and then I just needed this stuff so I can mock up the radiator. So, K-Tuned, thank you very much for the awesome parts.